Hey everyone, what's going on? An unusual nighttime car podcast video. Because, well, for one, I'm driving home later from work and I didn't really see anything immediately to watch on YouTube. So, by the way, if you guys have any YouTube channels you want to recommend, feel free to send them my way via comment. Or you can share it in the Discord. If you guys have your own YouTube channel, as always, yes, please share them in my Discord. Because we're all on the same team. So if you're sharing content and you're part of my community, then I want to cheer you on too. So we should all be successful. We work hard to produce content day in and day out. And it doesn't even have to be about finance. If you want to just share a video about what your channel's about, some people might be interested in it. But anyway, why am I making a video? Well, I'm not driving to work on Friday, so there's no Friday Commute podcast. And like I said, I couldn't find anything to watch immediately, so I figured, why not just put the phone down by my butt, as Commute says, and hit record and just start rambling, right? Because believe it or not, some people enjoy that. And I'm happy to bring that to you. So one thing I was just thinking about a second ago is children and what to do with their money. So it's almost Christmas. And sometimes, hopefully, some people buy your children, if you have any, money, right? And if they give your children money, what do you guys do with that money? Do you put it in a savings account? Do you let them spend it? Do you put it in a college savings 529? Or do you have a custodial brokerage? What I do, again, I just want to explain what I do, and then you guys can tell me what you do in the comments. But here's what I do. I have 2 kids now. Ages 1 and the other one just turned 8. So for the 8-year-old, since he was born, for the most part, I opened a custodial. Well, no, because he was 8 years old. I got involved with investing a little after that. So, but regardless, I opened a custodial brokerage in my name on his behalf. It's called the UMA or whatever. And again, he can't touch it till he's 18 or 19. I forget what the exact age it is, but and I have full control of it, and I could buy and sell stocks in his account. But what do? I take I closed his savings account and I opened only a custodial brokerage. So all money he gets for his birthday, for Christmas, for whatever, even Easter, whatever. If people decide to give him money, or if we decide to present him with money, that money goes immediately in the custodial brokerage. So then, once that money clears, I buy him dividend-paying stocks. But I don't buy him Tesla. I don't buy him Coney. I don't buy him Tesla. Obviously, they don't pay a dividend. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I did buy him Tesla because last year was the first year. Last December, I said, what stock do you want me to buy? And I gave him a few options, and Tesla was one of them. I didn't want to because they didn't pay a dividend, but he's obsessed with Teslas. Like every time he sees a Tesla, he's like, oh man, look at that Tesla. So, he wanted to buy it, and sure enough, I bought him 4 shares of Tesla, and Tesla has skyrocketed. So he more than doubled, I believe. I'll have to check, but that position has done well. But the normal process that I do is I buy him dividend growth stocks. I buy him companies, blue chip companies that will pay him a dividend now and hopefully forever. And these are companies that typically also grow their dividend. So, and it's worked out. Pretty much, stocks that I bought him are Apple, Procter & Gamble, Walmart, Starbucks. What else? I bought him Hasbro. That's actually the only stock in the red. And I bought him Hasbro because, again, they make like figures, they make toys, something. I try to buy him stocks that he knows. Caterpillar, I bought him Caterpillar because he sees them all the time and he likes them. But yeah, every single company outside of Avgo, I bought him Broadcom, one share of Broadcom. Every single company besides them, he knows. He knows their products, he knows their stores, whatever. So I try to buy stuff that he's familiar with. And that way, like, periodically, I'll actually test him. I'll say, what stocks do you own? And, out of the blue, sometimes he'll know at least half of them. And then sometimes he'll just not participate because he's stubborn. But yeah, it's just fun. So his birthday just passed, and I have Christmas coming up. So, I already put some money in there, and hopefully he gets, more money for Christmas. Unfortunately, sometimes people buy toys, which sucks, but if he gets, more money, again, the same process. However, this year, since he's 8 years old, he's going to have a little more involvement with the choices. I'm not going to let him pick Tesla because he's already up. I don't want him to ruin his great average. And again, I want him to see the power of compounding, dividend compounding. So again, my plan this year is to get him involved. And if he doesn't want to get involved, I may consider buying him a dividend growth ETF. Because again, that's more diversified. And lately, as you know, I've been extremely busy on, making YouTube videos about high dividend paying stocks. And I don't have the same amount of time I used to researching the individual dividend paying companies, the high dividend growth. So when I was doing that, then it's easy for me to tell him, okay, this company's safe, you should buy them. But now I'm not, as involved anymore. Like what's going on with Procter and Gamble? I don't know. The last time I got involved, 3M was, taking a dump because they were getting sued by the Army or something, and we got out. But again, I'm not following, as closely, so it doesn't feel the same. It's his money. I don't want to ruin it. And the problem is, again, it's because I'm basically researching the hell out of these high yield dividend paying stocks, and I'm really enjoying that. So don't get me wrong, but that's why they have the ETFs. I've never been an ETF guy until now, so I might, I don't have any problem now buying him DGRO or SCHD or even one of the Vanguard ones. I can't think of the name offhand, but so that may be in his future, unless he wants to participate and choose, to add to his existing dividend-paying stocks. So that's what I do. All of his money goes into a custodial brokerage. Okay, but what about a 529 plan? Well, I have that too, but I don't use his money for that because, in my opinion, it's his money. So why would I spend his money to invest in college if he doesn't want to go to college one day, right? So to me, it's not right if I use his money for something that he may not even need. So that's why I use his money for the custodial brokerage. But what I do is I take money out of my paycheck, every paycheck, and I put money into a 529 automatically. That way he just does its thing. Obviously, I pick the funds, very limited funds in that 529, by the way. Like everything else, right? They limit you on what you can choose, invest in, which is, by the way, is complete BS. I mean, let's be realistic about that. Look at this guy with his brights. Oh my God. Unreal. Like, how do you have your brights on now? A million cars around. But yeah. So yeah, his 529 is funded by me. His custodial brokerage is funded by him. And, I manage the two. My 1-year-old, he also has a custodial brokerage. And it's, he has very few funds. But same thing. He has 529 funded by me. He has a custodial brokerage funded by him. So the plan is when they get old enough, I get them involved. I show them the power of compounding. Because in reality, if they start young enough, they don't have to risk, in the high yields. They don't have to buy Tesla. Granted, they could, and sure as hell, why not, right? But I'm just saying, like, they could live off potentially the dividend growth ones, right? So again, if they if they choose to buy when they get to a point when he's 18, he could probably spend it all, right, and waste it. Now you guys can see me. I got my ugly Christmas sweater. I just left a work party thing. Yeah. Anyway, that's why I'm leaving so late. It's 6 p.m. here in New Jersey. But what the hell was I saying? But yeah, I just wanted to tell you guys what I do with my children's money. But yeah, just let me know what you guys do. And also, if you have a custodial brokerage for your kids, and they're still under 18, what stocks do you buy then? Or if you had a custodial brokerage and your children have turned 18 or older, what happened? Did they continue investing? Did they spend it all? I'm curious to know, like, how that went. And at what age did you really get their attention to talk about investing? Because at 8 years old, I'm not finding much luck. I'm thinking maybe 10, 12, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. But before I was just talking about the 529, right? And the limited options. So you get a 529, and the reason you get a 529 is, you invest in it, and then the point is, if you use it for college, all of the capital gains and dividends or whatever you make out of it, they will be tax-free as long as you use it for college. I know I heard recently they can also throw it in a Roth IRA. I haven't done research on that, but that's awesome. But let's not talk about that right now. But the point I was going to make is, when you buy these 529s, at least the one I did, they have like 8 funds. Like, you get to choose 8 funds. You're giving them your money, and they give you 8 funds. Like, seriously? Like, what is this? Who's making money off of these funds? Who's getting that expense ratio? Who's in bed with who? Like, what is this? Why can't I buy what I choose to buy? Right? Okay, maybe a 529 has certain rules and regulations, that whatever, quote unquote, which I doubt. But what about a 401k? All right? Everyone has a 401k. Typically at a, big corporation, you have 401k, 403b, whatever. You put money into that, and guess what happens? You have limited options. You have limited options. So what? Like, why can't I invest in what I want to invest? My wife's company, however, not a large corporation, they allow, I think it's called a select brokerage plan, they allow you to invest whatever the heck you want. You obviously have to turn on the setting, and I didn't even know about it until a couple years ago, so it's not even like announced to people. But at least I could turn that switch and I could buy whatever. So what I do is, my 401k is index funds, growth funds. It's basically high risk, high growth, very aggressive growth. So, and it's diversified internationally. It's diversified by sector. It's pretty well managed. And I typically look at it once a year, every January, which means it's coming up. So I don't know if I'm going to do that again. But if I do, and you guys are interested in that part of, that type of video that covers that, let me know, and I could do it on my phone. Because I also actually have a brand new 401k company, which is kind of annoying, but anyway. So that's what I do with my 401k. I buy, that's because I don't have a choice, okay? And that's the majority of our money. That's the majority of our nest egg. My wife's 401k, again, I have the option to buy whatever the heck I want. So you know what I do with that? I buy dividend growth stocks. All dividend growth stocks for everything. And again, before I got into the high yielders, that's what I was all about. So I researched the hell out of all of these companies, and I enjoy all of them. So I moved all of the dividend growth stocks into her 401k, and essentially every time she gets paid, that her contribution goes into cash, and also the dividends she gets paid from her current holdings goes into cash. So at least once a month or so, I'll take a look, I'll see how much cash we have, and then I buy whatever's on the dip, and that's it. And then I rinse and repeat. But as mentioned before, I'm not as involved in the dividend growth stocks. My research is now focused on these high yielding dividend ETFs. So I may consider moving her individual stock holdings into a dividend growth ETF. So if you guys have a dividend growth ETF that you love and that what you use, let me know. Again, off the top of my head, I like SCHD and I like DGROW. I think SCHD is better than DGROW though. But and I think is it VOO? I know Vanguard has one too. But yeah, but hers, again, it's a Roth 401k, and I can't touch it until I'm 59 and a half, so I might as well make it dividend growth, right? Obviously, when I retire, I can move that into more so high income, producing items. So, but for now, I want to keep it, dividend growth. But anyway, so that's what I do for my children. That's what I do for me and my wife. And then outside of that, we have, what you see every day or every month when I share my taxable account, which is about, actually as of today, it's $45,000. So I am almost green on everything except Tesla, which is pretty amazing. I mean, I guess it was bound to happen, right? We've been getting killed on a lot of these underlyings. But lately, the market has been it's almost scary doing good, right? It's scary good. It's been going up and up and up. But again, my Tesla position was so bad that, $14 range. So it's going to take a while to recover because I wasn't averaging down. I agreed. I told myself, I said, listen, I'm not going to buy any more because I'm way over allocated, and I'm actually living true to that. Although I own 1,700, and I hate the fact that it's 1,700, I'd rather make it 2,000 even. But I'm not going to worry about that. One day I will make it 2,000 though, and then I'll really be done until I can truly, allocate evenly across. And I'm doing that. I just bought 10 AMSI today. AMSI was really the only one on a dip that my average was, higher than the current price. So again, what do I do when I have to buy, stocks in the taxable? I make sure, number one, it's down for the day, and number two, I'm down in capital. Total capital gains. I'm in the negative because I do not want to average up. I do not want to. These funds, typically head south, right? Let's be real here, because they take the full downside and they take some upside. So with the distributions, obviously in time you would think it would go down a little. However, it's they've been pretty solid, and I've almost been up on everything. So it's really hard for me to buy anything, which is good. I'd rather, it's good to have your cash build up, because one day, Netflix could have a terrible earnings, and guess what? It could be down 5% in one day, 5%. And guess who's waiting with cash? Me, you, all of us. That's why it's good to have cash. But days like this, even AMC was down, 0.09%. I still bought it. I probably shouldn't have, but I was down overall my average. I feel like I always have to buy something every day. It's like you get the itch, right? You want to buy something. You want to do something. Feel useful. But yeah, I did that. So that's my strategy. And I talked about this the other day, and I want to mention it again. I want you to think about, because everyone always says, when should you buy YieldMax? And I just produced a video today when you should buy it, if there is any right time to buy it. Because everyone just always defaults to buy it on X dividend date. Buy it on X dividend date. Okay, and that strategy can work for Defiant, which I'll get into in a second, but with YieldMax, that doesn't necessarily work, okay? And the reason is, it's not just on the, they have the synthetic. And the synthetic can bring the ETF down by the underlying going down. So you could have X dividend date, sure. Company like Tesla, it'll drop 60 cents, on X dividend date. So if you buy on X dividend date, sure, you get a 60-cent discount, plus or minus whatever the underlying is doing that day. But what about the next 5 days? What if the underlying goes down the next 5 days, right? You're going to miss out on that opportunity, right? 5 days of dips. X dividend date won't be the best time. What'll be the best time? Guess what? X dividend date? Sure. The day after X dividend date? Yes. The day after that? Yes. Day after that? Yes. Day after that? Yes. And the 5th day? Yes. So it's always good to keep money and average in on the dips. So don't save your money and just buy on X dividend date on these YieldMax funds. It's just not going to work, because there's always going to be days where the underlying is going to go down. Yes, it's true that after X dividend date, they sell weekly calls and they're making money and they're building up their fund. They're building up their income to pay out for the next distribution. But the synthetic is also part of the process, all right? They also make income on the synthetic. Defiance doesn't have that. Defiance only has the puts. They only make money selling puts. So on X dividend date for Defiance, that they're paying out what they made over the prior month, right? And guess what happens? They start the clock over and they sell puts again so that they can do the same thing next month. The underlying is the index. And when they sell puts on the index, if the index goes down, they will go down with it. So yes, if you buy on X dividend date for the Defiance funds, the day after X dividend date, if the index goes down, you could essentially get a better deal. And then if it continues to go down, again, this is right after X dividend date, then yes, technically that would be the better deal. But if that doesn't happen, the clock starts over. So again, think of Defiance as the month is starting fresh. Let's think the ETF's $20, right? Or let's say, $20. And let's say they earned that's 50 cents. Let's say they earned 50 cents a share. No, that's too high. 5 cents a share. Let's say they earned 5 cents a share day one. Okay? So it's 20.05 after the first day. And then they earn 5 cents the next day. It's 20.10. And then 5 cents the next 2 days. It's at 20.20. Okay, so that shows you X dividend date was priced at 20, so that was the best time. Because even if they had 4 solid days of premium income, and then the 5th day it went down, but it only went down 10 cents, and guess what? X dividend date was still the best day to buy. Because typically, the indexes are not going to be drastic. Like the changes up and down won't be as drastic as like the YieldMax ones where they have just an individual underlying stock. So again, I hope I'm explaining this right. because I know I'm driving too. But I wanted to I feel like I need to explain this over and over sometimes, because sometimes I don't think it just doesn't come out right, or on the video, or whatever, or I'm talking about too many different things. But one thing I want to start doing is I want to have YieldMax Monday. And what that means is, so they sell calls weekly, right? They sell calls weekly. So what does that mean, right? There is, on most of their ETFs, they sell pretty close to the money. Let's be real. Coney, maybe not so much, because their implied volatility is through the roof, and they're able to sell calls further out of the money. But when you look at, all of the other funds, essentially, they're selling calls, let's just say 2 to 6% out of the money, okay? So that limits your potential, capital gains for that week, 2 to 6%. And let's use, like Tesla, let's use 3%, because they love doing 3% out of the money. They love it. So let's say they do 3% on Friday. They roll it, 3% out of the money, strike. And Monday, Tesla goes down 3%. Do you know what that means? That means you have now a strike that's 6% out of the money with 4 trading days left. So you have a potential upside of 6% for 4 trading days. Why am I telling you this? Because it's basically like the whole week, right? If it goes down right away on Monday, then essentially you can look at that new out of the money strike amount, based on the latest price, and say, okay, if I buy now and it goes up 6% by Friday, that's 6% capital gains. So if the average, if the timing's right, if it's below your cost basis, then, YieldMax Monday is key, right? Especially with Tesla. Because if the only way, if we're only going to get 3%, based on how they're trading. Oh my God, this guy. Another one with the brights. Look at this. You would think it's a light out looking at the video. But, what the hell was I saying? If they're going to only cap us at 3%, then guess what we could do? We could all have YieldMax Mondays, and we could wait for Monday, and then we could hope for a nice big dip. 3%, 2%, even 1%. If it's 1%, then guess what? Then we're 4% out of the money with 4 trading days. That's 1% a day. That actually just happened on Monday. I don't know what happened today. I'm pretty sure the market was green, but I was at work and I didn't have a chance to check anything. I was swamped. Office days, I'm pretty much useless with everything, because I don't get a chance to look at anything. But that's why I try to make the video right before I go into the office. But yeah, so I want you guys to think about that. I want us to start a trend of YieldMax Mondays. But if you're, if it's still, even after the Monday dip, if it's still, it costs more than what your average is, then I wouldn't bother. That's just me. Again, not financial advice. This is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. This video is for fun and entertainment. Anyway, I hope you get what I'm saying here. And it's not just Monday. Think about Monday and Tuesday. So say Monday we were flat, and Tuesday it goes down 3% or even 5%. Then sure, why not? You got 3 trading days. Tuesday went down 5, Monday nothing. So now we're 8% out of the money with 3 trading days. So just think of the possibility. And you don't even have to wait until the end of the day. Like if Monday opens and it jumps 6% down, right at the open, right there, opportunity. Boom, 10 shares. And then you wait 2 hours, assuming you're able and you have time. And it jumps down more, boom, 10 more shares. And then guess what? It recovers at 12. And then, you know what? You just average the hell down, and with those shares, you have a potential of massive capital gains for the week. So that is something I am going to keep, strategizing on, and I'm going to keep harping on, and I want to make it a thing. I want to make it YieldMax Mondays, because you know why? There are tons of YieldMax funds. So we don't even have to just look at Tesla. We can look at all of them, and we can look, all right, who's dipping? Who's dipping, baby? We just need to know, like, how far out of the money are they? If they're already 10% out of the money and it's Amazon, I mean, a dip really doesn't matter, right? I mean, at that point, I don't think Amazon's going over 10% 1 week anyway. But again, that's not going to happen. The only funds that they do that with are Coney and maybe AMD. I don't know. I haven't tracked AMD. So, but yeah, Coney's another one. If Coney drops on a Monday, whew, you can have massive capital gains on that one. Like that fund that's a beast of its own. That's unpredictable. I know a lot of people are taking profits, actually. I mean, who would have thought taking profits on a YieldMax ETF? I'm not. I'm still, my 20 shares are just riding, but my yield on cost is going to be pretty good. They're a small allocation of my portfolio, but it is what it is. I'm averaging down on others. And it turns out to be the right move because everything is now going up. Everything is going up. And I'm nearly green. And my capital is so much better than what was last month. So that means my yield on cost will be so much better on all of these funds. So it's really, it's been an amazing journey. Like, this is, unbelievable. I know people, I don't get a lot of hate comments anymore, honestly. I did in the beginning. But I guess my videos don't really call out to the haters because they're not really like saying Tesla's awesome or, buy this now or, there's no, they're pretty boring, plain thumbnails. So I don't think I'm attracting the haters, which is fine. It's good. Because I don't answer them anyway, but what was my point? But yeah, I think when they did comment, it was always like, well, this is not a great long-term strategy. Or no, these funds will not last. Things like that. Based on what though? They just say these things and it's based on nothing. That's the problem. People make these comments with no real justification. No real proof of anything. Like, that's why I don't think they comment, on mine, because literally my video is showing you what the fund does. It's showing exactly how you're making money or how you're losing money. So if I'm making a video saying, oh, we lost money today, then how can they really, there's nothing, I'm being honest, right? I'm showing you what exactly happened. So I think that's why the haters kind of left me alone. Because it's not as fun. But anyway, so it's been really good. This journey has been really amazing. My YouTube journey really has become a life of its own. It's become a part-time job, more work than I ever imagined. But I never thought I'd actually have this much success. So fast. Because people, in the beginning especially, because people were jumping into these funds and there was no content. But now there's more and more content creators talking about these, each and every day. I still think it's probably 80% hate on these versus 20% actual, real videos about it, like, or 20% showing love. Some people are just like, I don't watch them, but I'm sure they're just, just loving these funds so much that they won't say anything bad about them. But for me, I'm just, it's not about love. I don't care. I don't love anything, it's just, I love who pays me. I love who will continue to pay me, consistently. That's my goal. I'm investing in high yielding funds that'll continue to pay me and not hurt my capital. too bad, right? All right, making a turn. Right now I am in Deer Road land. So to give you a visual, it's dark, and I'm driving down some side roads that are just dark. So anyway, so yeah, what else? We talked about that. We talked about this. I had a video today. I think they already mentioned that. It talks about when to buy the YieldMax funds. I also made a video of when to buy the Defiance funds. So yeah, let me know if that worked. If not, I could always make it, a different way. And then I have what's coming out tomorrow. Tomorrow I actually made a video. I made it this weekend, and I just show the history of my channel, some of the old videos in the archive, in case anyone is interested. But tonight I'll have to, I'm getting home much later than the norm. Here we go, another one with the brights. Can't even see a damn thing. These people, I can't. If that's actually not brights and it's normal lights, that's insane. Some of these new cars have insane lights. I drive a 2008. I can barely even see in front of me. My lights are, it's not. Probably need to clean them out actually, but anyway, I think I'm rambling on, so I probably need to cut this video short. But yeah, I'll leave it at this. Let me know. I need to start understanding what, outside of the YieldMax videos and the Defiance videos, and I know everyone wants IWMY. I know, but it's not that simple, unfortunately. So I have to, if I do anything additional, something has to be left out, or something has to be automated, because it's just, again, I don't have time. And this is non-sports season, so when sports season happens, I don't even know how I'm going to do this, but I'll have to figure it out. Because again, I coach all my kids' sports teams, and I work full time. My wife works full time, so just imagine the schedule plus a 1-year-old running around. But yeah, I think that's why people like me even more, because it's relatable, right? They're in the same situation. Their life is chaos, so they probably appreciate the chaos. But anyway, I was gonna say, what do you want me to just make YieldMax Defiance videos and then the occasional ETF review? If so, I can do that. That's easy. And if so, what ETF did I not review? I think Corey said to review USOI. I think it's the oil high income one. I think I gotta look at it. US oil. But there's a couple others. And even, I'm not against going over some ETFs that are lower. They don't have to be obnoxiously high, the yields. If there's ones that you guys want to invest in that are lower, that's fine too. But just let me know, and I'll take a look and go from there. I can review SHD. The problem is there's plenty of videos out there. You don't need me to talk about that. You need me to talk about the high yielders that don't get enough love, and so that's why I'm willing to do it. And those are more fun. SCHD is pretty lame. They talk about the safe companies, so obviously that's easy. We know most of the safe companies, and you just buy them, and that's it. You're safe. But if you have a risk appetite, you want to make more money, then that's not as exciting for you. But yeah, let me know what other content you enjoy. I know people like the monthly account updates, so I will continue that. I know they like the distribution announcements. I'll continue that. By the way, Curve announced their distribution today, so I'll make that video. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow's another office day, unfortunately, and I don't know when I'm going to make the video, but I'll make it soon, hopefully. And then maybe Thursday or Friday, we'll say. So look out for that. Anyway, I gotta go. This video's starting to dwindle down, as am I. I'm ready for freaking bed at this point, but I'm gonna get to my spreadsheets when I get home. But that's it. I gotta go. Let me shut this video off. And then I hope you guys have a great night. And I'll post this when I get home. But thank you for watching if you're watching. If you're still watching, then you're awesome. Later.